Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to another episode of Anything But Horror. Now, this is where I continue to discuss different genres of film and my love for film in general, and what got me into it. This week, we're going to be talking about Rocky, one of my favorite series of all times. Rocky is a 1976 film which runs about 2 hours and is directed by John G. Avildsen, who passed away on June 16th, 2017, at the age of 81. Now, this stars a impressive cast. Of course, at the time, Sylvester Stallone wasn't really known that well, but I'll get into that. This stars Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, Burgess Meredith, and one of my favorite actors of all time, Joe Spinell. Now, I forgot to mention him in a review that I did of Night Shift, which was a while back. But he actually was a great part of Night Shift as well. He didn't have a huge part, but made me laugh all the same. Now, this, of course, was the highest grossing movie in 1976. And Butkus, who's in the film, is actually Sylvester Stallone's real dog. And the interesting thing about that is that he was actually an usher who earned $36 a week before this movie came out. And he had to sell his dog for $50 in order to pay the bills. But once this movie panned out, he got him back. So now this won some awards for the year for 1976. It won 3 Oscars. One for Best Picture, another for Best Director, and the third was Best Editing. But it was nominated for Best Actor, Sylvester Stallone, Best Actress, Talia Shire, Best Supporting Actor, Burt Young, Best Supporting Actor, Burgess Meredith, Best Sound, and Best Original Song. And Best Music as well. Same thing. Best Music, Original Song. I love this series, except for Part 5. I can watch Part 5 and get some entertainment out of it, but I am not that fond of Part 5. And I thought Rocky Balboa was a great film for him to kind of leave the Rocky legacy. Even though it goes on with Creed, and I haven't seen Creed 2 yet. I do own it, but I haven't watched it yet, which is unusual for me because I like the Rocky films. So, let me get into a synopsis. I'm sure most people have seen this movie or heard of this movie, but long story short, a down and out boxer from Philadelphia who also works part time for the mob as a collector gets a shot at the title by chance to fight Apollo Creed. And that's basically the story. But it's an inspirational story of the underdog in a film. I have always loved this series. Rocky may not be my favorite of the series, and I was trying to kind of figure that out as I was watching it the other day. I love this film. I love Part 2. Part 3 might be my favorite, just because it's a lot of fun. I love Part 4 as well, and like I said, Rocky Balboa. But this movie, there is no question, is the best made film. Yeah. So inspirational. Such great acting. And when I talk about Part 5 and why I didn't really care for Part 5 as much, you don't want to see a character that you care about take a giant step backward. You want to see him take a step forward. And I get that it happens in real life. But it seemed like he got dumber. not smarter as he had been. And I know he had some brain damage and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it just seemed very forced. It's like, oh, we're going to take it back to the beginning and try to make another original Rocky film. And they failed miserably. That's why Part 5 was such a disappointment for me. I can still find entertainment in it, but it is probably the one that I watch the least out of all of them. So, yeah, this was a big part of my childhood, and to be honest, I used to watch Rocky 3 every day. I think I pretty much burnt up our CED video disc of that one. And Rocky 2 as well. I mean, the fights are choreographed so well. When I watch it now, I can see the little mistakes, but all in all, they did a fantastic job with choreographing the fights. And it's a pleasure to watch. And there's blood and gore in it, which is even better. I mean, Rocky always is the hit him a million times and he gets back up. But the way they make his face and all that, that's not really what it looks like. It's actually, he looks like he's been hit by a truck. So, and I always appreciated the blood and gore in the films as well. Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I was supposed to do this series a long time ago with a different YouTuber, but that didn't really work out too well. And that's okay, because I would rather talk about it on this episode with you guys. If you have not seen Rocky, definitely go out and watch it. Even if you're a horror fan and you don't like anything else but horror, it's hard to deny how good this film is, how well it's acted. And the story, like I said several times, is just inspirational. It's really a comeback story, an underdog story, which is, to me, just amazing. Thank you once again for indulging me in my talk of film and some of my favorites of all time. I do appreciate it. And if you like what you see and hear, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.